Nice.
I don't know another hybrid or gapping club that's as good as it when it's dry.
So we were talking about like spin retention and wedges, and it never lasts in wedges because we're in bunkers, we're in difficult lies, we play in all sorts of conditions. If they just put the hydrophobic coating, like the thing having the wedges on the ball, we lose golf balls or we change golf balls way faster than we ever change golf clubs.
Right.
So if you had the ability to, upon impact, eliminate moisture, then you would retain all that friction. So you would get the long irons that ride up the face then spin high in the face, and the short irons that skip off the face and have high launch, less spin.
When it comes to like the 3-wood, which is already a bit of a lower spinning spec anyways, not having that much of a tough time in the rain. But it's just that one club in the rain I have a tough time with.
My instinct with this one is that we probably need to get the CG a little bit deeper to have a little bit more spin, so that if you have a little bit of loss, you have margin.
Okay.
We could probably offset it. So if we done 17 or 18 degree head with a deeper CG, retain your ball speed but create the launch and have the more consistency of the spin. That's what Ping are known for, that whole spinsistency tagline they have. That's what they're the best at. So maybe it is something within that family. You look at a 5-wood at 18 or something like that, go short and heavy though, like you said, that could be the perfect window. All right, here you go.
Let me go stretching. Yep. I'm on a 10 club and a ball this week, so first event with a non-stealth driver last week. Like I was saying to Ian, it sits quite open now, so I ordered one at 8.5 actual, so I don't have to turn it down, and a bit more hot melt front because I think it still spins a touch higher with my stock shot.
Right now getting a 10.5, lock it down.
Yeah, so that's 10.5, digital 9.5 at 8.5. I told Ian my goal for this is I don't want to do too much with the irons. Like that's like the bread and butter of my game. I think top of the bag in terms of gapping, in terms of I feel like my 3-wood's a touch long, touch too light. Like that one spins a touch too much. The UW is a bit of a weird gap when depending on the conditions.
Yeah, I've heard stuff like that. But like I want
What are the odds? Some general characteristics of that ball.
It's supposed to be Srixon's high spinning ball. Quite firm, very clicky, but
Clicky?
No. It's purely from a ball fight perspective. I used to use a Z-Store, which is the softest one, with slightly lower spin, and I just couldn't get the spin rate high enough. And this one, it's significantly higher. I remember in the Triple Diamond Max, it was just really low, like knuckle low. It was a shocking driver for me though. I had it stuck poorly.
With
I've never tried it with the.
Yeah, like the combo on that, so we'll kind of refresh on. Spins down.
I tried to launch that one with all my might.
Take the box off. So that's playing. You're saying it's playing 8.5 right now.
Yes. The True Loft's 9.5, so that's -1, yeah.
What did you think of that combo there? There were some pretty big changes.
Yeah, I think however much longer that is, it actually felt a bit better.
It looked really good.
Yeah, closer to what I've been using before. Tentative with the DI because I had it on the UW before, and I had a really tough time with like a right miss.
Right.
And it just felt a bit mushy.
Sure.
And to be really honest with you, it's so hard to figure out how it feels indoors as opposed to like on a golf course.
100%.
Hitting a shot in the wind and stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, it felt pretty good. I'll add a couple more on my blue board after this.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I'm a bit warmer now as well. So
in terms of peak height, what number do you kind of like to look at?
So for Taichi, I would always say his club head speed and his apex with his driver should be about 1-to-1. So if he's swinging right now at 119, I'd be happy with him 115 to 119. So anything above that, he's losing ball speed, he's getting a little bit of spin, so when it turns back into, he's going to soften his flight too much.
That last one was 121. We never like that on the golf course.
So you said that look, it might go left.
yeah,
Okay.
I think I've just used that.
Tighter dispersion than before.
When I was using the stealth, I was spinning it too much. I tried to lock down the stealth like 2 degrees. It was at like plus 0.25 and I went down as much as I could. And I was getting these like little left misses out of nowhere. Is that a result of strike or is something going on with the loft and how it reacts to it?
I would most likely strike if it's, if your spin axis is tilting aggressively, then our spin loft is narrowing down too much, and you probably get a little bit too much spin axis tilt off the gear effect. So maybe, like looking here, your miss looks like it's living a little toe side.
Yeah, I mean, even my good ones are like on the toe side. Yeah. The one thing I found interesting with the 8.5 is that's as low as I've ever played a driver. And if I don't catch it low in the face like I usually do, it does come out like pretty bullety. I rarely get like a high toe strike, it's like a low toe strike. So I get this like squirty cut which gets the height for me. Okay. Sometimes when I middle it, it does look a touch lower than I thought.
We've got a couple of different versions of that as well. We'll show that one just for a second.
Do you know how much this one is tipped?
Our driver shafts are tipped half.
I hear on tour that most of the guys who play that shaft usually tip it like at least an inch.
At least.
An inch and a half, right?
Inch is kind of is like standard tipping on tour. Regular consumers more like half. So if you think back to like old school clubs, like 975D with a through bore.
Yeah.
And that was like 2.75 inches of the shaft was stuck inside the head.
Yeah.
That was locked, that couldn't move. So that was like every shaft was equivalent of tipped. So that's why the evolution of shafts has changed so much that we've had to make shafts so much stiffer because there's so much less shaft inside the tip.
Yeah.
I like the DI a lot more.
Do you?
Yeah, this feels like it goes low left on me. I think the TP definitely was closer towards a DI feel.
Let's try it.
This just feels like, just pretty boardy and feels like I'm just going to hit it left every time.
Generally speaking, we'll see stiffer shafts go a little more left, softer shafts go a little bit more right. Just because they adapt better. If you don't adapt and you've no ability to adapt, softer shafts will go left. And some the high speed 50,000 frames per second cameras, the phantom cams, what typically betting players do is the softest shaft they want to push the hand forward.
Depending on what ball flight you want to start left, turn it right a little bit. If the club head gets a little bit there after you, no dramas at all. As long as we've got loft, as long as we've got spin. I mean, that's still quite high there. You ranged from 93 to 133 there.
Yeah, I mean, I
as well. So
I
can do it all.
leaned back on it. Absolutely.
There's a touch of loft on those last two.
I mean, the TP is just such a comfortable shaft for me.
So you're literally just going back into your shaft.
Feels like home.
Your flight there. Now we've got the spin down 200. You've got height from 90 to 104, and your ball speed's jumped to 170. So you're up 4 miles an hour.
With this head though, because what's that, 9 to 8.5?
Yeah, 9 on small minus.
Because that one doesn't sit as open as mine. I feel like when I see the face more square as opposed to open, I don't have to hit low on the toe for it to go like straight. My strike's really different just looking at the alignment of that face.
So it's kind of moving you into that strike there. Okay. So we're away from toe strike, nice central, so your horizontal is good, just vertical, it's just a touch lower.
When I was hitting it on the range, the TP was just leaking more than the blue board. Spin was a touch lower, but then it was just fading more.
I mean, you're hitting 11-yard cuts, starting it just slightly left, right? Sort of 10 yards left and then cutting it back, so you're almost on your line with a 4 mile an hour ball speed gain. Spin down 200, height up 14. Kind of ticking boxes there. So just for that shaft there with the red, you're just getting, you're presenting the toe every time. Your sort of deviation on it, you're doing your job every single time there. That's just way too much spin. It's just kicking way too hard.
Is that what it's supposed to do?
That's actually, from what they say, a little bit opposite.
Okay.
But
interesting.
That's what we got to test, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of high toe stroke with the toe in the air, it's going to gear over quite a lot more. Right. It may save you a couple of the times. It may get cut from it, but we don't want to just rely on it, right? We need to make sure that retention is there. You had some little bit dips, little bit climbs, but for me, I'm just seeing with that ball speed gain and ball speed hold, just retain it across and it just becomes easy for you and you just pick your target and work it. And just know the club's got your back on that kind of thing, right?
So what did we test this in? We tested at 8 or 8.5?
So we went 9 down on the small, so it's 8.5. You're not even a millimetre out on your axis there, but 0.1 of a degree up, so it's impressive.
One thing I thought was super interesting, I was playing the other day, it was really cold. It wasn't like windy at all, there was like no wind. And I'm hitting a shot like, let's say like pins like 180, right? And I'm thinking it's a full 6 with like all the conditions. hit a full 6 on my quad assist like 186. So I'm thinking like, oh, sit, and I like lands like just short of the pin. So it just shows like, you know, the external conditions, even without wind, changes ball flight. Even though the internal feels like a 185 swing, it comes out like 180.
I've seen some testing done in Boston, Manchester Lane, so this facility where they've got a 100-yard green where they test wedges, and it's called the Spider, and they'll just get it to hit balls off a mat to within 0.01 of a degree at a mile an hour, and they'll hit wedge shots with it 100 miles an hour, and 100-yard shot, and the variables in it, I mean, they could hit 1,000 balls, maybe 2 will go in, and the dispersion is crazy. Because even as a breeze comes through, balls move. Wind changes direction a little bit of humidity comes in. Over a full day, the ball can be up to 15 yards off for a 100-yard shot. Because I'm seeing, you know, let's even pretend this wasn't your shot, this is just on the wall. The retention across this, even ball speed when you're hitting knockdowns,
It's pretty good.
you're changing by like 0.6 of a mile an hour. Right? So there's the comfort level there. So it's not a part you want to break up. And you're taking that from.
I don't mind the low draw having like sub 2 because it's like a runner shot.
You don't really hit the low draw. I've never seen.
Five of Macau.
And you can do a few different.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because I asked him, like, how do you work this shot?
Just do it.
Yeah, thanks. Because I only fade the ball. That's the most Tiger Woods answer.
Yeah, I was saying, I had someone asked me that in Dubai once. Like, how do you hit it high? And he went, just hit it high. The presenter was kind of like, for the average golfer, how would they hit it high? He's like, just hit it up.
Tiger's, just swing it a little bit more up. And I was like, what does that mean?
They were like, okay. So look, TP7 in your fairway. So let's
I think this is my only club in the bag that's not a D swing rate. I think this is E9.
Okay.
That's heavy.
Or no, C9. It's light.
Okay, yeah, C9.
Yeah, E9.
Yeah, I was like, E9's like almost
picking up
unplayable. Yeah, it's a sledgehammer. It's a legit sledgehammer. Was there a reason why you put it at C9?
No, I ordered it from David like a year ago.
Yeah.
On like 430. And it just came in this. I didn't know it was so light.
So
it's long and light.
Before, when we're chatting in the lab, you were talking about maybe a bit heavy, but it may just be returning to a, you know, through a normal through swim way, right?
Yeah,
going right
exactly,
through the other side.
Because sometimes, like when it's so light, I get a bit like nervous with it off the tee. Like on the off chance I do hit it off the tee, I don't think I've ever had like it's perfectly 265. It's always like back foot crunch one in there, or like 240, 250, and like land one soft with a slice. One thing I do with my woods though, or like even my long irons, I sometimes get the draw from toe strike as opposed to face to path. I'm always working on strengthening my face to path, but yeah, often I hit a draw just with a toe strike.
Full calibrate that. We can sort of build something that gives you that confidence. You can definitely do that, but we just build it in with a spec that's a little bit more in keeping with the rest.
Right.
So you don't have to kind of make a bit of a different swing in order to make that one work.
That's a good point you brought up, because under pressure, my back foot, close up to it, hit like a really low draw,
100%.
which I could do like every time with that low.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely a weird club in there.
And that's the thing, if you back foot it, right, so from a D-plane perspective, you're pushing the path more rightward, you're kind of got the offset of the additional dynamic lie angle that's able to keep the thing online, so it actually in a Frankenstein kind of way works. You know? But that always ends up being the case. Like when I saw the old recoil, I'm like, there's a story behind this. Like we just have to dig into what it is. There's something going on here.
What kind of shaft would you use to match up the 2-iron for someone like him, then, you think?
Probably something into like probably a Ventus Blue 9X. I'd probably put into that like as a nice starting point. Something like that would be pretty good. I mean the new Taichi 1K Pro is really, really good. Love that in hybrids and driving irons. We just play with different 95 or 105 just to see kind of what your kind of delivery preference is from a release standpoint, things like that.
To be honest, I feel like I'd want to like nail down the 19-degree hybrid side of it, because what I noticed is that I could fly it down like a back foot with a hybrid. So I could also like pop it up in the air. So it's like the best of both worlds. I think the 2-iron
you get
Yeah,
with
I use it a lot.
As you said, have you done open qualifying on the Asian tour over here yet, or are you going to go over to the UK to do
We've
it?
already done, I think, 2 or 3 forms for the open qualifying.
Yeah, but you've not done actual open qualifying yet.
No, not yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
are you going to do that
I'll
here?
probably I'll do it in West Links.
Okay,
If I
so,
don't-
I mean, so that's the time, right? So
Yeah.
we want to get something in your bag before you go over there because it
Yeah.
could be blowing 35, and
Yeah,
that's when it's a tool.
yeah. I remember, I played it last year. I want to go back. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's a nice course.
It's a
though.
really nice course.
Yeah, it's
isn't
like
it?
pretty short, but
Yeah.
with definitely challenges, yeah.
100%.
Mm.
But there's some interesting stuff. Did the boys walk you through the lofts?
Not yet, no.
So, in general, what we see, if you look at any kind of standard loft progression, right? So we generally see 3 degrees-ish between the long irons. So you might see, 23, 26, 29, then you go to 4. So you go
Okay.
33, 37, 41, 45, something like that. Here we start off with higher gaps, and then we get into really tight gaps,
All right, okay.
which is really interesting. If we look at like your gapping between your 7 and your 8, 5.5. So like a club and a half of difference.
Yeah, there is a big gap.
Did you notice
yeah,
that?
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
I mean, typically better players can come in and they can go, yeah, I've got a bit of a gap there, and then you go, this is why.
Yeah.
You tell us what one you're comfortable with. Like if you had to pick a club and you knew you could hit that number with, we'll create baseline off that, and then we'll basically work back off of that. So for you, every degree,
how to look the numbers?
every degree of loft is going to be about 3 yards.
Okay.
Right, so we can create your gap and off of that, and we can.
I'd say, like, just off the top of my head, I'd want the pitching wedge to go longer.
Yeah.
I'd want the 8 iron to go a touch longer, and a 7 iron maybe a touch shorter. Because I think the 6 and the 5 are pretty.
It's the lens, isn't it? It's just the lens on your spec sheet. Yeah, that's exactly what that says. So, okay. Okay, do you want us to move them and then do a gapping session just to see how far they go, or would you rather do it the other way around? So sometimes it's better just to do. You just hit them.
Let's.
Let's hit your numbers.
I've already got my numbers like
Yeah.
on a sheet, so let's bend them first, and then
Okay,
I could.
let's do that.
Yeah,
let's do that.
do some
Okay.
from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
So in terms of just feel on that,
Yeah.
you're saying you want to go a little heavier. I mean, we're getting it out there, right? There's energy here. The ball speed's off a little bit, but you're getting more out of it because the spin's down at 2.6. We're down in driver territory here, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Do you want to roll that thing to 287? Probably not.
No.
There's good things to be had here, right? I mean, like, if we're saying, right, just get me to max it out as much as I can, you can put 10 yards in if you want to lump the shaft up. But what we don't want to do is take away that kind of relationship between the height and the spin, right? So we're losing in every category here. Even the descent angle fall lower, right? As we start to move away from driver, I mean, descent angle used to be a huge chat just in irons. We're looking at hybrids, fairways now, like average, like sort of loft played on tour is, you're looking at sort of 15 lofted to 16 and a half now. So to drop that down to driver, it's a little on the low side. You're really comfortable with these.
Yeah, I am.
So it's just a case of going into, I know it says LST on it, right? So it's not like we're putting a low spin head in. It's the weight of the head just to get you to deliver it. We're going to try that against TR Blue just real quick, just see what happens if we soften the middle off.
I don't know if it's the weight of the head, but with the heavier one, I'm finding it a bit higher on the face compared to what I have
So
now.
it's just presenting
Yeah.
to the ball. Everyone's going to be slightly different, but for you, just taking that head weight down, it's just not as productive as it can be, right? We want full efficiency.
Low.
So I think it's head weight.
Yeah.
It's not overloading the shaft too much and just throwing all the weight we can in. It's not kitchen sink stuff. It's more getting the head weight and the swing weight and bringing those. It's almost bringing the flex off a little bit, right? On average, we're coming down, and then launch angle is going up with a little bit higher. It's just that shape, right? At the moment, I'm seeing 3.5 spin on this for 19 degrees, slightly low side-ish, but productive.
I mean, I'm thinking like baselines already, like you said, on the low side.
Yeah,
Maybe,
it's flirting out already.
yeah. Toe ball.
Okay, so you're spinning it up 1,000. Ball speed comes off at 2 degrees, 2 miles an hour. That's in spec. Carries off a bit much though. I'll show you. It's all height. I know we're not in wet conditions right now. We're not going to put any bit of water on the ball or anything. So just want to see just some stock numbers on this power, if you will.
I'm getting progressively slower for my baseline.
Yeah.
Swing speed wise.
Well, you've hit a few balls.
Yeah.
Understandable. I'll be at that point of diminishing returns, right? Or we do the big swings first. It's a quite unique situation to have, right? So at the moment, I'm seeing 3.5 spin on this for 19 degrees. You know, you can down it again. Just seeing a little bit slightly low side-ish, but productive. Is it super low? Is it just a complete knuckleball?
Yeah, like 21.
Yeah.
21, 22, just no chance.
Okay.
I mean, I'm thinking like baselines already, like you said, like on the low side.
Yeah.
Maybe,
It's flirting out already.
yeah, a little more lofty, you think, or?
That's the only thing about those UWs from the R&D side. The faces, you know, they're hot clubs.
Yeah, so
I mean, no surprise, the high spin one's the one you like the most, right?
yeah.
Right, let's try. We're going to try lofty fairway. So I like having the LST. So I'm just going to make a like a 19 version of it. Right? We'll flatten it off. I'll match you the lie angle in a 19 5 wood. Anything short?
Could we bend this or no?
You're gonna use it?
Yes, definitely.
Like if UW are gonna use it?
Yes.
Because if it goes,
I don't recommend you to take it off then.
Okay.
if you don't like it, won't bend up.
Okay.
And we don't have a wood bender, do we? I believe in this guy, but we're going to need to go about 2 degrees weak, and knowing,
It's just not. No. Okay.
yeah, if you had a 21 degree head,
Or you can try Matthews. Matthews has a 21.
He has an act in the macro, is it?
It's in Humana.
Let's hit it right now.
well, we just look at Loft and doing, right? It's Loft and Spinster. He has the UW as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yamana GT 80 TX.
And just put a little dot on the face there. We hit this on the balls.
His?
Yeah.
Yes. It's the reason why I got mine. I like his because it's a touch shorter. I ordered mine too long.
It's not big. It's just a nice sharp length.
I think it's the Loft.
Alright, so it looks shorter. And it's the same.
We were just talking about with Matt a second ago. He was asking about launch and stuff, and we're kind of working back on dynamic loft is what you present.
Toe ball.
Full spin from toe.
It's a whole club shorter, isn't it? Like numbers wise, because that was toe. I think if I had another one in the middle, it would be like 40.
Yeah, all making sense, guys. We're getting into the weeds here.
This is 21 true loft.
Yeah. It's tough to bend those.
What do you
I'm
think?
saying I think Ben can do it, just don't think he could go back.
What do you think? 20?
It's yours 17.5, right? Yours?
Is it not 19?
17.5 and that shouldn't be.
No. If it's 19, then means that it's 19 because we can actually like try to true off at this moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's why I need to ask you, but we will have it very soon.
Oh, okay.
We will have the equipment.
Maybe I should just kick it.
Try to? Yeah.
1 degree. It's got too much over there.
Oh, we got a box out there.
Here it is. That's your shaft from using that 3 bit. Just lofted it up. It's going to feel a little bit long.
This one LST.
Yeah. Matched up to the 3 bit just in the 19.
This is pretty similar to the UW, isn't it? At least on that one. Or is it going a touch higher?
Well, we've got UW spin rate at 3.6. You're hitting at 106, you're at 114 here. So steep and landing angle by just over a degree. It's got 2.5 views higher launch, right? So it's higher off the face and peak.
Oh, touch low on this. Spin up. How high is that going?
That last one was 111.
I think it's pretty straight with these.
Very well.
Pretty consistent.
Do you know I love the spin rates on this?
Yeah. And the retention's good too. I had some
Yeah.
weird strikes in there.
Be a new favourite buzzword, right? It's all about retention.
Yeah.
So, ball speed wise, great, right? Spin is up, right? So, I'm thinking just something you can do a little bit more loft to. A longer club as well, so it's going to change. It's 19 on the flat plus one. So, just delivering a longer club, right? So, a little bit further from the ball and then just present a little bit more dynamically. The spin is coming up. So, if we can say to you that wet shot will come.
When it goes down, it won't go.
It won't go as,
yeah.
it'll start 3 higher and then come down from there. There's some really good numbers here.
Would you recommend LST with that as well?
Yeah, I don't really want to introduce that variable of just talking product for a second, right? What we saw even with putting a little bit of weight onto the max head, just didn't get that launch window for you, and just overall weight of the club. I think for the LST, especially your club head speed, it's kind of not doing an LST for you, spinning it more. Just with the UW having a fairway wood shaped face, right? So what they did is put an oval shaped face on, super thin, thicken the heel, thicken the toe, just allows them all that face cut flex. Fairway metals, they don't use that kind of technology, right? So they'll still have that hot ball speed on it, but hit it high with a bit more spin. If we can go up 3, it's almost like changing ball. So it would be a case of off the tee, knowing in your head, right, I'm starting 300 higher. If it comes down, it's still going to do the job. So I think it's a 16 and 19 play in the same head.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
I think that's a good sort of thing to explore. That obviously that we're using your shaft choke out of it, not an ideal test.
Yeah. And how would you recommend the order to go? Because I'm going to order 3 wood at 8 grams heavier. How much lighter would this be, or heavier would this be?
So we'll literally go with the standard head weight, right? So the 8 grams heavier isn't us doing anything to it. It's just the LST over the max, right? So it is just the product doing it. Whether they've taken weight down, I'm not sure.
I can measure like the 5 foot head weight, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Well, we're just talking.
I think they have.
There,
No,
right?
they have taken weight off because I requested a certain head weight.
Okay. So weights come off of that head, so we're just going to go back to standard. So it's not a
The standard 3, standard 5.
yeah, it's a standard build on it, right? Just getting you back in the swing weight.
Because this is at 7x, would you recommend 7x for both, or would you recommend 8 for the 5 wood?
I would place same shaft, just take the length down.
Okay.
Right? Another variable.
Same
right?
same tip.
Yeah, we don't need to jump weight at all in there. We're not going to change the style of club or anything. And again, we talk about fitting a lot. A lot of people ask me a lot of the time is, when are we kind of done? What do I need to change? Is there anything else? If there's something we wouldn't change, we have to, right? And when I see numbers like that, when I can stand by those and just say, right, they're the numbers we're looking for, go play that.
Don't fuck with
Because
it.
then anything else we try, it's going to be off of what we just did. And if I'm seeing those numbers, I'm like, well, why would I mess with that? You know? So I really like it.
Yep.
Make my job
Perfect.
super easy, pal.
Thank you. Legend.
So look, some good changes there. We were talking earlier, we're like, it's mostly going to be shaft, but it's actually the opposite. Shaft,
Head is
job
it.
done, it's head.
Interesting,
It's just delivered weights and just getting that face started.
Yep. All right.
I mean, the windows you're hitting now are even tighter, so I would love to catch up on this in a couple of months.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to see just on course how you get on with that, especially that 3 wood.
Yep.
Really, I'm really liking that new weight on there.
Yeah. Because I think part of it's not even just the flight, but the consistency of feel. You know, I have everything except for the 2-iron pretty consistent, I think, weight wise. And I get to my 3 wood, and like one of the 13 other clubs is like lighter than everything else.
It's a massive outlier.
Yeah.
I know Ian's flagged the 2-iron then
Yeah.
to talk to you about, because obviously shaft weight gone down to 95. But and lie angle being out, but that 3 wood for me, that's the one that sticks out for me of seeing a swing weight drop into the C's. It's just, let's just go back to the build in standard length, and then half-inch off for the 5 wood.
I think I'm at my absolute limit of hitting today. But I just have a question with the heads. Do you know anything about the Cirxon heads in terms of launch and spin conditions, or does it depend?
I mean, is this the one you were gaming when just
This one,
about?
yeah.
Okay. Slightly wider sole on that one. So.
My Cirxon guy told me this theoretically should spin a touch higher. This would launch higher but spin less.
In terms of head size, not being, Strixon, really. That's your more traditional loft, right? And then these V-soles, these are awesome. Like a bit more bounce, a bit more on the trailing edge as well. But you should, in terms of just product side, you should be getting a smaller head higher, right? A bit more turf interaction, leading edge. And then obviously the overall head weight's going to be lighter as well. So I would expect high launch, high spin, and then
A little hotter.
it's his modus again, though.
Yeah, they're all
Almost
almost.
got
I know, it's crazy. This one's fresh. I haven't had this one.
Good. So I think away from UW in this one here, it's fast. Unless we can,
It's almost too hot in it. Yeah.
It's almost like, imagine like a was like pail of water, right? So we want to knock the CG back a little bit. So we wanted to rush that way. CG kind of works in that way in terms of front to back. So to be able to pitch it a little more, a 5 we're just going to do that way more for you. It's just delivered loft lower ceiling like that. So
Yeah.
I'm more than happy if you come away from one of those.
Perfect.
Well, you hit a lot of balls, man.
Pleasure.
82.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
See you again, bud.
Really appreciate you.
Appreciate you coming down, man. Thank you.
Thank you.